What's up, guys? It's been a little while. Thanks for bearing with me. Figured I'd kind of get back into the game by working one of these little spalls of Flint River chert. Marshall's here poking his head around. Watch out, buddy. And this is just some Flint River from Jeff Head, and just a little old spall. Usually I don't work stuff like this, but since I've been working on the boat mainly for the past week and a half, and haven't really been flint napping, figured I'd just take it easy, work on something fairly simple, and try to get back into the napping routine. As many of you know, I think I posted, I posted a little video working on this boat behind me. It was one that my buddy Lewis gave me. Many of you are familiar with my buddy Lewis. Still hasn't started his YouTube channel, that turkey, but I'm still getting on to him about it. Anyways, he's had this boat in his garage for the longest time, and it was his dad's, I believe. And I had given him a phone call like, I don't know, 3 weeks ago. And I was like, yeah, one of these days I'd like to get a boat, and I'm gonna pay off some student loan debt first, and then maybe in a few years get me a little boat. And he was like, well, I have one in the garage. And I was like, are you serious? He was like, yeah. I was like, I've been in your garage forever. Why haven't I seen it? He was like, well, it's under a bunch of stuff. And sure enough, it was. And so, past few weeks, I've spent a ton of time, a ton of money. Got a sore back. My hands are roughed up a little bit. But it's just an old 16-foot panfish boat. But hopefully, Lewis and I can have a grand old time out on the boat. Maybe go collect some rock. Maybe. And might be able to film some of our journeys if we do. So, have to stay tuned for all that. So right now I'm just working on this little piece and trying to build a little convexity on the piece. That way it's not so flat, but I have something to work with. This is just some raw material, but it is nice. Some of the more candier of the Flint River. Now when we say candy, it really just kind of has that kind of old school candy texture, kind of a shimmer, a shine, a little bit of translucence to it. That's kind of what we need. I don't know, I think of those old orange lifesavers. But maybe somebody else has something else in mind. I don't know why other people call it candy, that's just why I do. Not a lot of impurities. Or maybe because it looks like caramel. Who knows? Kind of a caramel color. So a lot of this is just kind of me feeling the rock and seeing, what needs to take place so that I can drive flakes across if I even need to. Generally, I don't like leaving flat faces like that. I like to get a little bit of, I like to be able to flake over the piece if I'm able to. So now we're at a point where we can kind of shift gears, start flaking on the other side, just a little bit. So then I'll braid back. And now you can see that this area is a little bit lower. This area is a little bit heftier than this thin area here. So we could take advantage of that. Usually like to start on the corner if I can. It's kind of unsuccessful there, but able to get to it on that strike. Alright. Anyways, y'all have to catch me up on y'all's end. Hadn't talked to you in a little while. I don't know if there's any updates in the flint-knapping community or not. But if so, y'all gotta inform me. Any new upcoming YouTubers I need to be made aware of? Or maybe you are one. You can let us know down in the comments. That was a good strike. It went all the way to there. A lot of points can be made by this kind of leaf shape. A lot of different styles. That's why I go to it fairly often. Clay points, Kirk corner notch are really the ones that kind of maximize that shape style. Or in other words, you got a leaf style shape. You can just put notches in it and you conserve the most material. Same thing with a clay. Now you can have clipped ear clays or not. Citruses, believe it or not, are really good for this, unless you're trying to get a minute tip. Then you'll have to clear out some material. Colbreth is also good. Pickwicks, you kind of need a wide area, and Marions, but you do clip around a lot of material back through here. So even though I do percussion work, I'm still a conservationist in the sense that I want to try to get as much as I can out of a point. I mean, if I have something like this, I want to maximize the material that I have. I don't just want to take something like this and turn it into a really skinny bowl and bevel, although I could. I don't think there'd be anything wrong with that. But that's generally just my philosophy. Especially when I have really good, hard to come by material, I want to try to get the most out of it. And for some, the most out of it may be a bowline, and that's totally fine. There we are. So finally starting to kind of flake into this flatter edge. And although that didn't reach all the way across, some of our next strikes probably will. Not in sequence, but the next time we get to that area. Okay. Still fairly low on this side, so I'm gonna kind of keep addressing this. And from the looks of it, we'll have a pretty minute tip. That did a good job there, clearing out a good bulk of material. Also, slightly different camera angle. The boat's behind me. Had to shift my napping area to kind of compensate for that. So, just, I don't know if that's a good thumbnail or not, but I'll get a thumbnail on here somewhere. But you see, because that was a low area like this was low, but now it's raised up. That was a good one to take off. Now this one has a hinge. I got a blow by. Sometimes you're able to do it, sometimes not. This time we were kind of able. It didn't do exactly what I wanted it to. I don't know. This is not a preferred strike. Yeah, it wasn't that good of a strike. Not ideal here, but try to isolate a little place from the base. Okay. There's one little cruddy area, and of course it's right where we want to strike. But we're able to blow through it. Not a problem. Could have been a problem, but we were careful. The one cool thing about flint knapping is that it's predictable, and the more experience you have, the greater you are at kind of predicting, what takes what to accomplish, or I don't know how you put it into a math formula, but X plus Y equals Z, or whatever. You kind of figure out that, oh, okay, this might be the best course of action, or maybe this. Go through a little quick process of elimination. And as I've shared before, a lot of my decisions just come off of feel. If I feel a hump there, or if I feel an area there, and a lot, like pretty much all of flint knapping is feel, because you're using both of your hands. And it's also sight, being able to, see where you're wanting to hit and have good hand-eye coordination. But when I say feel, I'm kind of talking about the support. And I feel kind of a thick region there. Eyeball, okay, that looks like a good platform. We got to hit a little high. Do you want to hit in or down? Well, a little mix of both. And eventually, the more times you do it, you get better and better. And if you ever reach a plateau, pick up a smaller bopper, or pick up a bigger bopper, or pick up an indirect stick, or pick up some aboriginal tools, and you'll be able to grow, because a lot of these skills can transfer in some way. Like doing the square axe that I did the other day. I didn't finish it on camera, but just doing it there was really, really neat, and kind of helped me realize, oh, well, if I'm working on a dagger, I need to do this, or to implement this strategy, or what have you. And it's new because usually this is in the middle instead of on the side, and you're pinching your legs. And I wasn't really pinching my legs right, and but you can learn something mentally all day long, but until you do it, that's when the real challenge and learning begins. Now, a lot of this I'll probably just switch to indirect percussion, because this kind of has a making of a real thin blade, especially with how this tip is right now. And so I want to thin out everything else too. And these boppers just cause such a large bulk of percussion, meaning it leaves a big area that kind of gouges out. And so I like a lot of the indirect percussion styles here, especially now that I've picked it up after a long hiatus. And eventually, once I get some money to buy the aboriginal tools, man, they cost a lot. I'll switch over to that for a little bit, try those out. That's the one cool thing about copper, is that it's kind of cheap to get into, and it's very efficient. It's nice to work with. Very predictable stripes. But someone who uses Aboriginal tools would say the same thing, as they use that down that way. So who knows? Always gonna try new things here on the channel. Wanna spice it up for you a little bit, make it fun. Don't just want to nap and nap and nap and nap and nap. Also want to try to make this engaging for newer people to the hobby. And so you may see some thumbnails like, it's gold jasper, or 10-minute challenge, or whatever. But honestly, if I just post, flint-knapping, Flint River chert from Georgia, it'll have like 100 views. But if I post something like that's kind of eye-catching, usually a lot more people are engaged and people ask questions. My hope is that can get them into it. So don't feel as if I'm being too misleading there. But, anyways, I'll probably end it here. Nice little preform. It's not even close to being done, but it's getting there. A nice thin, good profile, can make a lot of different things from it. And the Joker's translucent, so it's hard to beat. But anyways, we'll call it there. Thanks for watching. Thanks for bearing with me for being away for a while. I don't really know what the next few videos will be like. I still have that Jasper tab over there. It's not broke. Still have plenty of other Jasper pieces to work. In fact, I'm looking at a huge pile in front of me right now. Marshall, where you at? Where you at, buddy? Come on. Where you at? Oh, there you are. There's Mr. Marshall. What's right here? Let me show you. Oh, there you go. All right. We're going to head on. Look at the camera. Look at the camera. All right. Ready to go inside? All right, let's go inside. All right. Thank y'all again. And, yeah. Should I show you the boat? Should I show you the progress? I know some of you want to see the progress. Maybe I'll just do it. All right. Bear with me here. So I've carpeted just about everything, repaneled everything, and got a foot recess pedal for the trolling motor. I just got to attach the trolling motor to the front, to the bow, one of the anchors to the bow. One of the anchors is already back there, the stern, and then everything else is good. Got to put these seats in there and just bolt everything down. Got a couple batteries, got some oil, and some gear lube for the foot of the Mercury back there. And it'll be ready to go. So I can now get back to the rocks. So, all right, we're gonna let you go. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.